Hi, I'm Anna.
Hi, I'm Dustin.
Hi, I'm Chloe.
Hi, I'm Ella.
Today we'll be telling you all about classic works of art that have been given a new purpose over time.
Look, we're flying over the Hagia Sophia right now.
Hey, knock knock.
Who's there?
Sophia.
Sophia who?
Hagia Sophia. The Hagia Sophia is a phenomenal structure that has had various purposes.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
I believe that other works with the Hagia Sophia have been given new purposes with the passing of time.
Which pieces fit into this greater theme of giving classic works a new meaning?
Well, let me tell you. For example, works like the Hagia Sophia, the Kaaba, the Reliquary of Sy-Quia, the Great Mosque of Cordoba, and the Baptistery of St. Louis have all been given a new purpose.
Wow, fascinating.
We should go on an adventure to visit these magnificent creations.
Yeah!
Now that we're fresh off the boat, let's stretch our leg into a pilgrimage to the Kaaba.
Just like millions of other Muslims do each year as directed by the Pillars of Islam.
Kaaba is located in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, and is the holiest shrine of Islam. Muslims pray in its direction 5 times a day for another pillar of Islam.
True that. It is a cubical room made of black stone that is elegantly draped in a silk and cotton veil annually.
The word Kaaba in itself means cube.
That's interesting, but why is this piece so important and how does it fit into our theme?
You see, Muslims believe that Allah ordered the Kaaba to be constructed by Abraham and his oldest son Ishmael. It is supposed to be made in the likeness of Allah's home in heaven.
It's funny because before that, the Kaaba was actually used for pagan worship. In the very beginning, it was believed that this site was a place of worship for angels before the creation of man.
Insightful. To add on, a temple was built on this spot in belief it was where Adam and Eve had lived, which was lost in the Great Flood, but it was rebuilt by Ishmael and Abraham.
But sadly, after Ishmael's death, his progeny and other local tribes gradually turned to polytheism, and several idols were placed in the Kaaba representing deities.
When Muhammad came to the shrine, he got rid of all the idols and installed a place for Allah and gave the Muslim people a place to connect with Allah.
Let's go to our next site, the Great Mosque at Cordoba. Onto the pilgrimage bus, everyone.
Okay.
When life leaves you high and dry, I'll be at your door tonight if you need help, if you need help. I'll shut down the city lights, I'll lie, cheat, I'll beg and bribe to make you well.
Here we are in Cordoba, Spain, and this is the Great Mosque.
This is the site of a small Christian Visigoth temple, the Catholic Basilica of St. Vincent of Lerins.
Fun fact, when Muslims conquered Spain in 711, the church was divided into Muslim and Christian halves.
Eventually, Emir Abd al-Rahman I purchased the Christian half and rebuilt it as the Great Mosque. Because of this, the mosque currently has some evident Visigoth influence.
Right. This is particularly stressed in the use of horseshoe-style arch that was common in the architecture of the Visigoths.
But in what way were these arches reused?
When they created the mosque, they actually built upon the original pillars, resulting in 2-tiered arches. All of these pillars are what make this a hypostyle hall. Other aspects of the mosque include a courtyard with a fountain, an orange grove, a covered walkway circling the courtyard, and a minaret that is now encased in a square tapered bell tower.
Wait, what's a minaret?
Well, you see, a minaret is a tall, slender tower that is used to call the faithful to prayer, and it is a typical element of a mosque.
The mosque also includes a mihrab, which is a prayer niche that indicates the direction of Mecca. However, during the Reconquista in the late 15th century, it was converted back to a Catholic church.
The Mosque of Cordoba is a fantastic example of spolia and the reuse of the pillars, and especially because of the change from a church to a mosque back to a cathedral. The change and the history The history and the change of power is exemplified in the change in the structure. The mosque also shows the role religion had in government and the appreciation of one culture to another in the use of spalia.
Next, we arrive in Conques, France, at the Church of Saint Foy.
Situated on the Santiago de Compostela, this church is highly trafficked with pilgrims from all over the world who seek to visit their favorite idols of worship or reliquaries.
What do the pilgrims come to see in Conques?
Pilgrims travel for miles to visit none other than the iconic reliquary of Saint Foy herself. This relic contains the Holy Spirit of a Roman convert who refused to give up her pagan ideals at the hand of death.
It is a symbol of extreme devotion to the faith.
And a little known fact about this relic is that because it attracts many pilgrims, it increases the economy of its community. Because of this awesome ability, it was stolen by monks who further gilded the relic and kept it in their church to attract pilgrims there.
In fact, even though the reliquary is now housed in a museum, once a year it is returned back to the church for a big celebration.
This reliquary is used to increase the economy of a town as well as hear the prayers of travelers.
Historians hypothesize that her crown used to be a Roman battle helmet,
Which is especially ironic because of the fact that she was a Roman convert.
Other historians theorize that because her face has male characteristics, it once was a burial mask from another statue.
Wow, how fascinating. It's amazing how a work of commemoration can have so much depth and can be used to build the economy of a town.
The Kaaba is actually similar to this reliquary because they both tell stories of people or things staying true to one faith and keeping this faith over time despite the challenge of other religions. They were both sites of pilgrimages and were tools of worship. These tools were physical manifestations of their faiths and helped pilgrims strengthen their connection to God or Allah.
Come on, gang! You've got lots more to see!
Animation.
Out of my head, baby, you a song. You make me wanna roll my windows down and cruise down a back road, blowing stop signs through the middle every little farm town with you.
Just a stone's throw away from Conques, France, we are here in the Louvre in Paris waiting for the Baptistery of St. Louis.
This brass basin is inlaid with silver and gold and originates from the skilled hands of Mamluk craftsmen of the Middle East.
This basin is adorned with animals, human figures, and abstract medallions originally from the Middle East.
Made in the Middle East? Then how did it make its way all the way to France?
We don't really know, but we do know it was paid for by a wealthy Mamluk patron used for ceremonial hand washing, but it found its way to Europe where it was used as a tub to baptize royal children.
I would love to be baptized in such a magnificent basin.
Let's head to the last stop on our tour.
Work hard, play hard, work hard, play hard, work hard, play hard, work hard, play hard.
Work.
What are we doing in Istanbul?
We're here on our final stop at the Hagia Sophia, arguably the most repurposed structure throughout history.
Yes. Today it's a museum, but its history is far richer than a tourist attraction.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Let's go back to 6th century Constantinople. Believe it or not, we are standing in what once was the apex of culture during the Byzantine Empire.
And it was originally built by Constantine I to be used as a pagan temple. Unfortunately, it was damaged by a fire during a Byzantine riot.
But that was not the end of the Hagia Sophia. It was rebuilt by Constance and rededicated by Theodosius III.
But wait, it was burned down again in 532, and Justinian seized the moment to create one of the most studied places of worship across the globe.
The architects probably slept through some classes because the Hagia Sophia partially collapsed many times from earthquakes and had to be reinforced. Okay, I think that's it, right?
Not even close. During the Fourth Crusade, Venetians looted the Hagia Sophia, and the Turkish conquest of Constantinople is when we see the real repurposing.
Why would they want to change such a beautiful thing?
Chloe, want to finish us off?
My pleasure. So, the Turkish conquest resulted in Mehmed I to convert the Hagia Sophia into a mosque, and boy did he do some add-ons. He added on minarets, a great chandelier, a mihrab, and discs inside the mosque with Arabic calligraphy. He took out all Christian representation, but kept on its breathtaking architecture and wonderful interior. The end of the story takes place in 1935, when Kemal Ataturk converted it into a museum. And here we are.
Wow! Who knew everyone wanted a piece of the Hagia Sophia? How does it relate to our other pieces?
Don't worry, guys, I got this one. The Hagia Sophia was actually just like the Mosque of Cordoba. They both started out as churches and were converted to mosques due to Muslim conquests. They start to differ more towards modern times. The Mosque of Cordoba was actually converted into a cathedral, where the Hagia Sophia stayed in the Muslim faith and turned into a museum.
Animation.
Back so soon?
Unfortunately, this marks the end of our journey to different repurposed works of art and architecture.
Definitely an unforgettable trip.
The Kaaba, the Great Mosque of Cordoba, the Reliquary of St. Foy, the Baptistery of St. Louis, and the Hagia Sophia are all physical examples of how people in history can change the meaning behind a piece of work. Thanks for the great trip, everyone.
Yeah!
Yeah!
All around the world.